Greetings. My name is Letitia Hensley, and I'm the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools Director of Family and Community Engagement. We are excited that you are joining us today and know you will gain great insight from this session. At the conclusion of today's session, please provide feedback so that we can continue to support you with amazing sessions that will be provided throughout the year. Now, without further ado, we'll turn it over to our presenters.
Good afternoon, CMS families. Thank you for joining us today for our Family Academy Lunch and Learn, Everything Elementary Academics. Please take a moment to sign into today's meeting. The bit.ly displayed on the screen, bit.ly/Family Academy sign-in, has been added to our Q&A section. Today's slide deck, which can be found at bit.ly/CMS October 9th, has also been added to the Q&A. And on the next slide, we'll review our translation supports that are available today. In the top right-hand corner of your screen, you'll see the captions. From that drop-down, please select Show Live Captions. And from there, please select the language of your choosing. Once again, for translation services, please select Captions in the top right-hand corner of your screen, then show Live Captions. And from there, you're able to select the language of your choosing from the drop-down. And families, we are excited to engage with you today. If you have any questions or wonderings in today's session, please feel free to add them within our Q&A. Once you click on the Q&A button, a text box will appear where you can type your question, and it will be monitored throughout the session today, and we will answer any remaining questions at the conclusion of today's call. And if you have any ahas or wonderings or wow moments, we love to hear from you. Please send us a reaction, a thumbs up, any of those great learning moments to make sure that the information that is being shared is the information that our families want to hear. And at this time, we are so excited to bring on our fabulous elementary academics team who is going to be sharing some great information about our curriculum. I'm excited to introduce Ms. Kendra Alston, Ms. Stephanie Conlon, and Ms. Latanda Mitchell, who will be sharing about our elementary academics.
Hello, families. Thank you all so much for joining us. I am Kendra Alston, one of 6 elementary literacy specialists, and I am so excited to be here to share some of the wonderful resources that we have to support families and to support you supporting your children at home. So let's get started.
Hi there. So nice to join you all today. I'm Stephanie Conlon, and I work alongside Kendra and the teaching and learning team, and I support K-5 math.
We also have Latanda Mitchell, who is the elementary social studies curriculum specialist, and Ashley Meismer, who is the elementary science curriculum instructional specialist. So this slide is really about us grounding ourselves in our shared purpose. When we talk about delivering academic and engagement excellence, it means a few key things. First, we value the support of our community to ensure the success of all of our students in CMS. And we also want to support you in helping your child achieve their personal academic goals. So we are glad you are joining us today so we can share some important resources that will help you help us do this work together. So here's our vision. We will effectively educate, engage, and empower families, community, and all staff to nurture the academic and personal development of all students so that they may graduate high school employed, enlisted, or enrolled. We know that it takes all of us, teachers, families, and students, to make this happen. So today, our focus will be on accessing resources, two specific resources. One, the Family Resource Guide, and the second resource is the Family Videos and Letters. And then we'll talk about next session. So we want to introduce the Family Resource Guide by first having a little scenario. And I'm going to talk through this with you. And then after we read the scenario, I'm going to explain what resource is suggested based on this scenario. And you may identify with this or you may not, but I wanted you to be able to know why we would go to this specific resource. So this is a second grade example. This second grader is struggling with fluency and comprehension. So the students, and I always say that when we talk about they're struggling with fluency, it's like, are you reading like a robot or are you reading like a rock star? And so if they're struggling with fluency, oftentimes it's robotic. Okay. So family background. Here's the context. The Moore family has a second grader named Kyle who loves books but struggles with reading fluency and understanding what he reads. Mrs. Moore noticed that he hesitates frequently during reading and has trouble answering comprehension questions. So it's two things going on there. Okay. The parent concern. So Miss Moore wants to help her son Kyle improve his reading fluency and comprehension, but she's unfamiliar with the best strategies or materials to use at home. She is looking for district-supported resources that are easy to understand and practical for daily reading practice. So, what we would suggest for Mrs. Moore is the Family Resource Guide. The Family Resource Guide. So now it's like, okay, well, we know, but how do we get there? Where is it? So let's talk through. All right. So what I want you to do, I want us to just look at this slide for a moment. I want you to just familiarize and you with this particular document. So if you look on the right side, this is an image, a little snapshot of the Family Resource Guide. Okay, it's not all of it. We're going to get to that. And then on the left side, it gives you step-by-step instructions on how to navigate to the Family Resource Guide. Now, I'm going to give you a moment just to kind of look at that. And then we're going to actually go to the Family Resource Guide. Okay. So let me give you about 1 minute just to look, not even 1 minute, 30 seconds to look over this slide. So as you can see, although the steps, I pretty much laid the steps to access the Family Resource Guide out, but we're going to walk through it so you can see how easy it is to get to it. Okay, so let's go. All right, so we're going to go to the Family Resource Guide. And the first thing we're going to do is go to the CMS homepage. Okay. And if you look on the main page, you'll see Family Portal. That's you. You're the family. Nice link. You click on the Family Portal. Once you click on that portal, you see all of these icons, okay? And what we want to go to is the elementary resources, okay? Because remember, Kyle is in the second grade, right? So we're going to elementary. All right. Once we get here, we're going to go to second grade resources. And then once we get there, we go to what? Second grade Family Resource Guide. It's right there. All right. So once you come here to the Family Resource Guide, you can scroll down and it gives you almost like a table of contents on what the guide includes. So you can see that the guide includes the skills for reading and math. Notice it also has math. It's not just reading. So we know the student, our son Kyle, right, is having trouble in reading with fluency and comprehension. But guess what? He might struggle a little bit in math too. And I have math here. So you have key skills for reading and math, questions to ask your child, because sometimes we just don't know what to ask. We just don't know. Topics to discuss with the teacher, So if I wanted to carry the conversation over to conference time is coming up, I have questions here that I could ask my child's teacher. Learning activities that you can actually use at home, words to know so that you are aligned with the same language that the standards and that we're using in school, and then helpful resources to practice skills at home. But guess what else? All of the guides are in your specific language. So you will drop down to find your language and you will have this guide in your language, all about access, right? So let's take a look. We're going to open up the English so you can see all that is included. So you have the cover page, and then you have the table of contents that we talked about earlier. And then here are the skills. And if you notice, this is reading, but we do have math as well, right there. Okay. So you have your skills. Then here are the questions to ask your child, the topics to discuss with the teacher, the learning activities. And again, that's for math. You see, it's for math and reading. And all of it spelled out right there in 7 pages. So this is called the Family Resource Guide, and we have it for every grade level for math and reading. So that would be the suggested resource for that particular scenario. So now let's go back. I am going to hand it over to my colleague Stephanie because now we have a math scenario with a different grade level. Okay. All right. Stephanie.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So similar to ELA, we wanted to present a scenario that you might be able to relate to just in order to jump into some other resources. And so our story is that we have a 4th grade student who's struggling with fractions. So our family background here is the Johnson family. They have a 4th grader named Mia who enjoys school but has recently been frustrated with math homework, specifically with fractions. If you have a 4th grader at home, then you know that we have been knee deep in some fraction work already this year. So this may feel very relevant or very current to you. Mia's mom, Mrs. Johnson, is worried because Mia seems confused about how to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. And the concern, Ms. Johnson called her child's teacher and learned that many 4th graders struggle with fractions. They find it challenging. So to support Mia at home, she wasn't sure where to find clear explanations or practice resources that align with these standards. So our suggested resource here is going to be the family letters and videos because these are going to be specific to the units of study for every grade level. So I'm going to give you a moment to read through. These are the directions for how to access the family letters and videos. So I'm going to give you just a few moments to look at the directions here the way that Kendra did, just to orient us to that. And then just like we did for ELA, I'm going to walk you through how to find these starting in the parent portal once again. So I'll give you about 30 seconds. Okay, now that we've oriented ourselves to how to access these resources, I'd like to show you how to find these. So we're going to go back to the home page. And I'm going to click over here in the family portal. So sorry, we're going to go to the family portal. We're going to scroll back down, just like we saw Kendra do before, to elementary school resources. And then we're going to see that little menu come back up. Sorry, it's loading. Sharing my screen means it's just loading a little more slowly.
But I hope that while I was, okay. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, okay. I'm going to click on 4th grade. Ah, there it is. Okay, so remember, Kendra showed you the family resource guide, which is the bottom link here in this window. I'm going to click on academics. From here, we can make our choices. Notice again that the resources from our department to families includes all major subject areas. So we'll walk through each of these as well in just a moment and give you but first I'm going to start with math so we get a sense of what these resources look like. Okay, so in this section for the elementary curriculum supports for families, we start with a statement about our beliefs and what math looks like K-5. So there's a general way that you're going to get some information here at the top that's basically summarizing what we want students to experience in K-5 math and CMS. The next part is about the program that we're currently using, which is called Illustrative Mathematics. And what we want to see students do K-5 is solving problems, explaining their thinking orally and in writing, that they work together individually and in small groups to solve problems and share their thinking. They complete activities that promote conceptual thinking, fluency, and application through rich problem solving, and then they experience a variety of math activities. So the family letter that you see on the screen here provides an overview of the program. So more information about the things that I just read out loud to you. And that's available in English and Spanish. But if you want to find out for Mia, the fourth grader who's struggling with fractions, what would we do specific to that grade level and that content? Here in our screen, we see kindergarten math. However, this is a little slide deck inside this web page. And so I can click down here in this gray bar underneath, and I can go forward to first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and I can find the units about fractions. So in quarter 1, unit 2, I can learn more about what this looks like, a family video, or I can read the letter. I might go to extending operations to fractions because that sounds like operating with fractions is operations, addition, subtraction, and beyond. Yeah, so that's where I might want to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is click where it says Unit 3, and that's going to take me to a family page. And this tells me and shows me and gives me examples of what the learning looks like in this unit for fourth grade. So I get examples that use visuals and equations and expressions and explanations for us to learn what are students learning about at home and how can I help my child. So you'll hear and read about the way this unit is organized. And I see some people in here right now. And then there's an opportunity for you to try some tasks at home. So there's always some suggestions in here for work that you can do at home. And there's suggestions for questions you can ask and sample responses, things you might want to hear your child say or see them do related to the math. And if I go back to, sorry, I just have to move a little bar out of the way. If I go back to this web page and I say, I want to hear it, I want to see this in action, I can click on this family video. And this video was made, hey everyone, welcome to the quarter 1 family. Hey, that's me. I made this for you. And so I made this video for you, and it's going to highlight the learning in this unit and what the fraction work looks like. So I'm just going to fast forward through some of this, but just so you can see. We want to hear it. So notice how the pictures of the oranges here are the same from the family letter. So what I wanted to do is illustrate and just kind of show you, here's how I would teach this. I would ask students, how much is there? How much orange is there? How much orange is there? Best example, right? But in this case, we're looking at how many halves are there? How many halves of oranges are there? Which is kind of a funny thing to play around language-wise. But that's the goal of that task. And so this video is 7 minutes and 56 seconds, and I go through a couple examples from the family letter so you can read about it and you can hear and see about it as well.
So you can walk through and you model it for the parents too.
Yes.
That's awesome especially if my math identity needs to be and so as a parent.
If you haven't counted by halves or multiplied 1/2, 5 times,
right. And it's also helpful, I think, Stephanie, because we may have learned math differently. And so you actually showing it, it's like, oh, this is how they're teaching it now. So that's helpful. So yeah, that's great.
Cool. That's good to hear. So hopefully these are useful for you as well. So like I said, this goes all the way up through 5th grade. And for every unit that's new learning, you might notice like the 8th unit or topic here might say putting it all together. That's not any new learning. So that's end of year review, but there is a letter for that. So I'm going to go back to our slide deck for just a moment. Now that we know how to find those resources and what they are about, like I said, I kind of talk to you about the other subject areas because those family letters and videos exist for math. And you can also see here who to contact if you want more information about those. That's on the front page of the math part of this elementary curriculum webpage. But we also have these family letters and videos for literacy. And Kendra can probably say more about this, but there's resources for models
and it's really helpful because you get a chance to see exactly what because sometimes we'll ask our children. I have a son in Charlotte-Mecklenburg as well, and I'll ask him, what you learned today? Nothing. And in fact, he learned a whole lot. And so if I knew, that I can go right to these videos to find out what it is he's learning, I'm able to actually have a conversation and say, hey, so you're learning about poetry this week. Tell me a little bit about Walter D. Myers, or tell me a little bit about, the red wheelbarrow that I know that so it gives you that. And when we talk about in the beginning, our vision is to empower you. You are now empowered because almost as much as the teachers know, because that what they're learning in module. So it's by grade level. If you see, and we're going to just click on, let's go to fourth grade. We can go to fourth grade since you're already doing fourth grade math. And so we right now are in quarter 1 for fourth grade. So if you click here, you can see exactly what
in this video, you'll learn about what your fourth grade student will be studying in our first literacy module on poetry and Love That Dog. Throughout this module, students will explore the following essential questions. What makes a poem a poem? What inspires people to write poetry? And how can I plan and write my own poem using personal experiences? Module 1 is divided into 3 distinct units.
So
Unit 1 will focus on reading and analyzing poems.
But you see, it's only 5 minutes, but it's packed with information. It gives you an entire overview of what to expect for each unit. It also tells you how the units are broken down and what are the major questions, the guiding questions. So these are things that you can use to ask your child, hey, tell me a little bit about Jack. You're reading. So it goes back to being empowered. And so you feel like you're part of this work that we're doing.
Awesome. Thank you for digging in more on that, Kendra. All right. So we've seen a little bit from literacy about family letters and videos, and we've seen that what's here for math. We also know who we can contact for more information about literacy because that's on the front page as well. And LaTonda is on with us, and LaTonda Mitchell is going to talk with us about a social studies scenario. LaTonda?
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. I'm so glad you took the time to be here with us to just learn just a little bit about what we do over here. I won't keep you long. So we are looking at third grade. I know that's one of those grades where you're like, oh, my kid is now doing EOGs. Oh, I'm now seeing a report card that has these numbers on there. And it's really a point where we're, really engaging our student in like what they'll see for the rest of their time in K-12 education. But third grade is really about social studies, understanding communities and maps. And like, sometimes we don't know what that means, right? So family background, Mr. and Mrs. Lee have a third grader, Ethan. He's so smart, right? He's curious about how places and communities are shaped. In class, Ethan has been learning about the how to identify and compare different types of communities using those maps to locate places and understand how geography influences how people live and interact. You as the parent, you really want to support him. Mr. and Mrs. Lee, right? Their concern is they just don't know that vocabulary, that academic language, and the tools to make these things accessible and fun for Ethan. That's a lot of times what we get kind of in the social studies world. And the recommended suggestion, the same thing that Stephanie came up with was that family letter.
You may, I can head there now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we're going to go back. If I start,
Third.
yeah, in the family portal, and we're going to go to the third grade resources. And again, we're going to go to academics. I'm just showing us again how to get there. It's good to see it a couple times, you know. And social studies. Mm-hmm. Look at this.
It's popping up slow on my side. Sorry.
Okay.
So, as you can see, you have an overview of what social studies is. If you have access to these slides, you also have a video that will explain all of these things as well. If you need anything, you can just contact me. But from here, you can see that the slides will do the same thing as math and ELA. So you'd go to third grade.
Mhm.
Right there. And third grade is supposed to have videos, and this might not be the right slide on here, but this will give you an overview of what is happening in there. And then you have access to the, oh, you're like moving.
Oh.
You'll also have access to those family letters in English and in Spanish for each grade level, for each unit, so that you know what you can do at home, and that the family videos that will be on here pretty soon. I just updated that slide. Those family videos will give you an overview of what you can do at home, places you can take your child, the academic vocabulary that we use within the units, just ways for you to engage your students at home in order for them to be engaged in that social studies, and for you to be engaged, because we're learning about Charlotte, we're learning about our community, we're learning about different cultures. You'll also see on that family engagement page on each one of them, each grade level. Can you go down, Stephanie, for me?
Yeah, sure.
You'll see that celebrating culture and community. So each month that's put together for all of our families across, and we try to be inclusive of everyone. Yes, if you click on October right there, you can see all of the things that are happening, most of the things that I can find that are happening within our community within Charlotte. And it highlights different things like today, there's nothing. Yesterday was National Walk and Roll to School Day. So there you can find different festivals, you can find different celebrations. Like this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month and National Bully Prevention Month. So this is where you can find how we are inclusive of all the things that are happening, and we want to engage you in what's happening within our schools, but also what's happening within our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Latanda. I love that calendar. I love how you're finding ways to connect, content and community. That's awesome. So like she said, there's a video here to remind you of ways to access these resources, and there's Latanda's contact information if you so desire.
Latanda's a one-woman show.
She is. She's a one-woman team.
Yeah.
Speaking of one-woman teams, we have Ashley Meismer is our science specialist for K-5, and she's not able to be with us today, but she did put a video together for us that highlights how to access the resources for science. So we're going to take a minute. Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to make it big enough that we can all see what this is information.
Hello, I'm Ashley Meismer, the Elementary Science Curriculum Specialist. Today I would like to take a moment to walk you through the curricular resources that are available for families for science. When you are on the elementary curriculum page, you will click Science and open a new window. Once you are there, you can read all about science in elementary school. Research shows that young students work well in a cooperative learning environment by actively exploring phenomena in the natural world, posing questions, and seeking answers as they arise. That is exactly what our K-5 science curriculum does. We provide students the opportunity to explore before they explain. Last year, 5th grade began this new curriculum, focusing on the science and engineering practices. These are practices that teach students scientific behaviors that they can apply in science and in the real world. This year, kindergarten through 4th grade began following a curriculum that mirrors the same as 5th grade. Students have an opportunity to explore before they explain, using tools, completing investigations, collecting data, making claims. All of this involves students doing the heavy lift and teachers working as the facilitators. Students learn by doing, and we believe that in our science curriculum. Our science curriculum allows for students to do this work and to ask questions as well as find answers to their questions with their teacher's support. You may read more about this on the rest of this page. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, you will see a slide deck. The slide deck is embedded. In order to see the full deck, if you click the 3 dots, and you can click enter full screen, you will see the resources that we have available. So on the screen, this is for kindergarten, you will see that the units are laid out by the unit number and the quarter in which they are taught. You can see that Unit 1, Quarter 1, which we are currently in, the unit is called Science as Inquiry. In each grade level, you will see the unit, the quarter, and the unit title. You will also see a family letter that accompanies that. This link is clickable for each grade level. So if you click, it will open the kindergarten family letter. It will explain to you how your student will learn, what your student will learn, how your student will communicate this to you, and what you can do at home to support your students. Again, this is available for each grade level. So when you are on the slide deck, you will also see under each unit, you will see the key questions. These are the questions that your student will focus on in that unit. For example, Unit 1 for kindergarten, how do we use our 5 senses and science tools to explore and learn about the world around us? The questions below in the bullet points are key questions the students will ask. Below that, you will see the learning targets. You will see exactly what the students will do. Use 5 senses to make observations, use science tools to make observations, and then you will begin to see things such as develop and use models, analyze and interpret data, engage in argument from evidence. You will see this across all of the units. Those are the science and engineering practices. If you continue to click through the slide deck, you will see all of our units. Here's 1st grade. You see Unit 1, Quarter 1. The family letter is clickable for you here. You continue to click through 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th, and 5th. You will notice that in 5th grade, we have family videos available for you. If you click the family video, it will take you to a YouTube video that explains exactly what is happening in the unit and exactly what your child will be learning. Feel free to explore that in your own time. If we return back to the slide deck, you will see family videos for all of the units for 5th grade. You'll also notice that there's a family letter here as well. Please keep in mind that family letters will be updated 2 weeks before the start of the unit. If you click back through the slide deck, you'll notice that currently there's a family letter for Unit 1 only. This will change throughout the year, so be sure to check back. This slide deck, as it gets updated, will automatically update on this site. So if you check back, you might see updates. They will all be on this slide deck and available for you here. Thank you for joining me today as we look over the elementary science curricular resources that are available to you at home.
Big thanks to Ashley for putting that video together for us in her absence today. And I like that she highlighted as things are updated that they are immediately available to you. So I know that LaTonda said that she'll be adding more resources throughout the school year. So it just makes me think that this is a nice website to continue to return to as students move through the quarters and the units of study this school year.
And you'll find it while you're navigating, because it's going to take time for you to just go and play with it, you know, and go and just spend some time and say, you know, today I'm just going to go and try to find the family resource guide, and you actually go and do it yourselves. And the more you do that, the easier it will be to locate and navigate, you know, to be
just like any website we're trying to learn how to navigate. All right. And once again, whoops, I'm not trying to play the video. I'm just trying to advance to the next slide. That was Ashley, and her contact information is also on that webpage, or you can, well, yeah, you'd have to contact her through that link. So that concludes the resource portion for today, for our time with you today. However, we wanted to just give you a little tidbit, a little sneak At our next time with you, which will be in January, we're going to be talking about learning at home resources. So I'm just kind of putting a plug here for this, where we're going to discuss things that you can do at home, resources that you can use that might address things that come up for you when you're reading iReady assessment information, Dibbles assessment information, MVPA assessment information, like throughout the school year when that feels timely for us. That's when we're going to be sharing those resources for you. But you can start playing around on that website and clicking around and seeing what's available anytime. And so those sessions will be January 22nd after that assessment window. The first one closes when we have all that data, and you'll be seeing those coming home to you. And then April 30th as well. There are other family engagement events every month of the school year. These are the ones that we will be returning to you for. So we want to thank you. Kendra and I are so appreciative.
Thank you. I wish I had a song to sing, but thank you.
She's
next
very
time,
musical.
next time I'll make sure I have a thank you song for you. But we appreciate you all taking the time out of your day to spend with us. We really hope it was helpful. And we hope that you felt how much we're being responsive to the needs of the community. So, and the family. So
Yeah.
hope you felt that.
And if you have any questions, we wanted to leave time at the end of our presentation just to open it up. Maybe Molly, if any questions have come through that you are aware of, this would be a great time for us to talk through them. If you have anything for us.
Yes, thank you, ladies. Thank you, Kendra and Stephanie and Latanya, for such a dynamic presentation. We do have one key question in our Q&A. Are there additional study guides or worksheets that families can use that would be sent home or that they should reference throughout this process? Any specific worksheets or things to kind of guide that process?
I think that that will be school dependent, like specific worksheets that maybe their school, their teacher, their class would have them work on specifically for that. I think that what our resources are more
like based on the curriculum.
Based on the curriculum as a whole. And we do have those activities. And I think you all have some links.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Actually, you're
Let me
right.
show you something.
Yes. So a resource you may go to. So if we go back to the family resource guide, this was a good thought. And sorry, things just take a little longer to load when we are
And this will be
sharing the
really good for you
screen.
to play your trumpet.
Hey.
While we're trying to navigate, because Stephanie plays the trumpet, guys. She's gonna bring the trumpet next time so we can play while we're waiting for the
January. I'll start practicing now. Okay, so in this resource guide that Kendra shared, let me see. We've got some learning activities, but I think if we scroll down, no,
scared of that.
Is it just in the website?
If you go back to go here. Okay.
Oh, the learning resources. This one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go to that.
So sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. So I just want to make sure you know my click path. So we went to the
family portal.
The family portal, elementary, and we're here at the Learning and Teaching Resources home. So that's the first link up there. Elementary learning resources.
Let's go to your grade level. Let's go to your second grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, or the example.
Yeah.
Before, but it's fine either way.
We just want to show you what's out there. And it takes us right
yeah,
but right here,
down
look
here. So for math, for example, the family videos are also linked right here, but there are things that you can do at home here. So some of them are videos that you can watch, an online game that they could play. Suggestion of like just using a deck of cards to work on fact fluency. And so this is available for every quarter. So there are resources for literacy and math, and it might it might be videos, it might be activities, but these are other things that you can do at home to support.
And if you want to get more specific, and it's kind of what I was saying about the worksheets, that would be a great thing to ask when you're asking your child's teacher to send things home.
Yeah.
That way, we know that it's aligned to what they're doing as well.
Yeah. And what your child needs.
Yep, exactly.
Because your teacher's going to know more.
That's a great question, whoever asked that. Thank you all so much, because I'm sure a lot of families had that same question. So thank you for asking that.
Thank you, Kendra and Stephanie and Latanda, and families, thank you so much. We have not had any additional questions come into our Q&A at this time. Families, please make sure you've signed into today's session. It is linked in our Q&A, and we hope that you are able to engage with us in any future sessions. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you at our next session. Have a great day.